Alright, both teams had their defensive game plans, and per usual, the Nugs had Yoke show off Braun or Luka screens, and he even did it against Austin at times, but that didn't work, because the three just picked him apart with their dimes. It was the same situation whenever they had a double on certain matchups from their Reds, so the Lakers were constantly eating on those advantages, and that was a drastic contrast compared to the other end, because their defensive game plan was working damn near perfectly. They assigned Rui onto Yoke, so Hayes got to seg off Gordon as a roamer, but they were reading everything anyway, and it was more about the way they built a wall around the paint, especially against Yoke. They had whoever on him aggressively fronting, and then the others would just shade all his angles, so that was making it difficult for him to even catch the rock, but when he did, the tilts and low rotations were immediate, so he couldn't put it down without seeing multiple bodies. This just reminded me of the way the Celtics defended Durant in 21, because it had the same themes of being real physical, trying to bump him off his spots, getting underneath, and constantly swarming him to make it as uncomfortable as possible. There were even possessions where they left Gordon, Brown, or Westbrook wide open from deep just to sandwich him, and even though those three made more shots than I expected, the Lakers were willing to live with those, because they wanted to keep everything on the outside as long as there was nothing easy inside. It was basically the same idea when Maul was out there with the second unit, and even he had moments throughout, but more times than not, their offense was being reduced to tough jumpers. So while those bricks or turnovers were generating constant pace for the Lakers to play fast all night, they finished with 37 points off the Nugs' 20 turnovers and 33 fast break points. So those runouts were what kept them in that crucial rhythm throughout, because it was leading to a lot of timely shots, even in the half court. Every time the Nugs were close to getting a stop or going on a run, they'd just hit one to not only maintain control, but to also dead any chance of a shift in momentum for the Nugs to get even a sliver of life, and that was probably the most impressive part of their night. In the past couple years, they would always throw away their control once the Nugs made a run, but whenever that happened in this one, they didn't overreact to some of the shot making, and more importantly, they sustained their level of defense until garbage time. I know what Braun and Luka are capable of offensively, but if the two can continue leading by example with the type of effort both of them displayed defensively, it'll only make their offense even easier, because the stops will allow it to take care of itself, and this game proved that. Just watch the tape.
He has to hoist it up, shot clock winding down.